In this video, I'm going to show you some of the best spots on the Aberration map to farm Silica pearls. I'm going to focus on areas that are relatively safe and can give you the most pearls. I just want to give a heads up here. If you are having difficulty finding Silica pearls on the Aberration map, I don't blame you. They've changed the appearance of them. They seem really similar in color to the actual ground of the water, and they've lost their shimmery glow. It is really difficult to see them now. The first location for pearls I want to show you is a beginner area. It's at the top of the river near the portal exit. There's a very small number of pearl nodes located there and trilobites as well. It's a pretty low yield but easy for beginners. To find the Silica pearls, you need to check the shallow water that is just located next to this rock here. The map coordinates for this spot are 42.2 and 28.7. There can be a few small threats in the area like raptors or ravagers and sarcos I've seen around here. So if you have some protection, I've got a ravager here, bring that along with you. And what you want to do is dip into the water here. And for the purpose of the video, I did turn off the fog. I'll put the command for that in the description below. It does make it a lot easier to see underwater. So I'm going to do that just so you can see easier in the video. So pop into the water here, and just near this rock here, you will see a Silica pearl. We're going to grab that. There's only a few in this area, but swim around. If you are in this area, there are also trilobites. You can kill a bunch of these, you'll get some oil, but you'll also get Silica pearls from these. So if you want just a couple of pearls to start off with, I would recommend grabbing the two that are in the river there and just harvesting the few trilobites we had in the area. We got 15 pearls. With the ones that we got by hand, we got 32 pearls. So a very, very small amount. But if you live nearby this area, I recommend checking it out for a very small number of pearls. The next location for Silica pearls is along a creek that leads from the fertile lake area down to the northern fertile river. The creek is made up of several pools, some of which contain Silica pearls in it. The area around is relatively safe, maybe a few raptors and ravagers. I think it's probably one of the least painful ways to get pearls on this map. The top of the river is located at 20.6 and 47.5. And this is where I recommend you start looking for the pearls up here. And you want to start at the top of the waterfall here. Behind us is the fertile lake. And go into the water here, and right away you will see a small amount of the Silica pearls. So you can grab those. There's a few more pearl nodes here. They're really difficult to see now. They look like rocks. I wish they were kind of shimmery like they used to be. There was about 3 or 4 in that pool. Head down to the next pool. There are a few nodes here. This one probably has the most, this spot right here, and this is 21.6 and 48.1. There's probably about 6 or 7 pearl nodes in that pool alone. We're going to head down to the next one now. This next pool down here has a couple. We've got 1, 2. There's not too many in this one here. And there is a bit of a bigger jump here. Did take some damage. It tends to be that as you go further down, the sparser the pearls get. Not seeing any in this pool. I then jumped down to the next pool where I found a couple more pearl nodes. There's some more here, 3. In the final pool there are no pearls. So I definitely recommend this spot. It's pretty calm, and you get an okay amount of pearls. Harvesting this whole creek by hand, I got 139 pearls. That's on 1x rates with no added melee. The next area you can find Silica pearls is around the fertile lake area. I'll show you some spots you can harvest by hand and some deeper areas in the lake you can harvest with a creature. So if you look for this waterfall area right here, the coordinates are 12.5 and 45.2. If you pop down into the water here, we've got a couple of pearl nodes. There is one here and another one here. Again, they're really difficult to see. Another one here. There's a few extra pearl nodes here at these coordinates, which is 13 and 47.9. And there is another node here as well. Just a few nodes in that area. The next spot I am located in is at the fertile lake. My coordinates here are 14.8 and 43.5. For visual reference, there's the center column of the lake, and there is a large metal structure here. The water here is a little bit deeper, so I'm going to pop some scuba on. You don't have to have scuba on. I just find it more helpful. There are quite a few threats in the area. There are spinos and carcinos, but you can see our first pearl is here. They've made them so hard to see now. There's some more over here. Where I am in the water is 14.7 and 44. And some more here. Continuing to swim further along the ledge here, we found a few more here and here. Taking a peek at my inventory, we only have 70 pearls. Farming pearls by hand is incredibly inefficient, so I'm going to show you something that you can do on Aberration to increase your pearl yield. And that is to tame an anglerfish, which is actually really tricky to do on this map. There are a lot of threats in the water. What I recommend you do is lure it out and try and gate it away from all of the eels and jellyfish. It'll make it a lot easier. If you have it enabled, I would recommend cryopotting them up to move them to the lake area. You can also move anglerfish with the fish baskets that are available on Aberration. I just want to give a word of caution. This is really cool. You can just pick it up in the basket and transfer it to the lake. But when I did this, I found that it was bugged. I could collect the pearls on the back of the anglerfish, but I wasn't able to access its inventory. So maybe that will be fixed, but it is Ark, so maybe it won't. Given that the fish basket seems a little bit bugged, what I'd recommend doing is just cryoing up your anglerfish and then just popping a spare generator or cryo fridge down, waiting a few minutes and then tossing your anglerfish out to ride it in the lake. Anglerfish don't require a saddle, you can jump right on them. They are a little squishy, they're not the best at fighting in the water, and you will get constantly harassed by other threats and piranhas. So what I recommend you do is, if you have one, bring a bodyguard, Spino or maybe a Sako, have them following you. I found this really helpful to take the heat off all the piranhas in the area. Something that is more of a heavy hitter like a Spino will be great against some of the more difficult tames to take on under the water, such as the Karkinos and the Sakos as well. So just take a look at the difference here. When you chomp these pearls with the anglerfish, you can see on the left here, we are getting way more pearls per node. So when I harvested the same locations, that shelf area and the spot located under the waterfall, we got just under 250 pearls just from those small areas. If you do have an anglerfish, there are some deeper areas in the lake that you can go to get even more pearls, but I wouldn't go down there swimming because there is quite a lot of hostiles in the area. In fact, you can see how hostile it is here. We have loads of Karkinos and piranhas. Even if you are on the anglerfish, I still highly recommend bringing a bodyguard to fight all of these creatures. I actually just left my Spino to fight everything while I went to gather pearls. We're at 20 and 36. There's a pearl node here. This is kind of like a midpoint shelf that's not the deepest bottom of the lake, but not a shallow surface. These are a little easy to see. They glow a little bit. There's some pearls here. This little spot where there's 3 nodes is around 20.6 and 36.3. And right at the edge of this shelf, I am at 20 and 37. There's a couple more nodes. There's one just under my Spino here. Another one right here. Another one closer to the edge. Again, you can see how difficult it is to see. And a little bit further down on the ledge, there is another one right here. 20, 37. This is a good little spot to farm them. It's kind of like a mid shelf. There's the top and there's the absolute depth. So around this area is good. Here is gonna, oh, there's another pearl node down here. Up on the shelf above this area, there is a couple of pearl nodes. I am at 21.7 and 36.2. You can see there's one there and right here next to that. And further along this shelf, you'll see a couple more. There's another node there, another one next to it. Well, there's a bunch here. This spot is 21.6 and 35.6. My Spino bodyguard has died, so I'm staying shallow at the moment. But a nice patch of pearls right here. You can see from the inventory here, harvesting with the angler gives us so much more pearls. We have well over 1,000, but it is pretty tricky to get pearls on Aberration, so I hope you found this guide helpful. My name is Krabby. I make short, concise, accurate guides for Ark. If you like these kind of videos, subscribe for more, or you can click on this one right here.